And the biggest thing I realized was that maybe I'm making the wrong choices, or maybe I'm not doing a good job raising him and guiding him on how to take care of himself. And I obviously want to be masculine and authentic, but I need to process all that repressed emotion, repressed fear, whatever it is. I need to process all that stuff, in order to fully be in my masculine. Hey, what's up, guys? Make sure you hit like and subscribe so we can get this message to as many dads as possible. I appreciate your support. And don't forget to visit souldadrob.com for free resources. Now to the video. Enjoy. I was at my son's soccer game the other day, and I completely lost it. Like, I got so angry that I broke the umbrella I was carrying. I slammed it on the fence, and it just cracked. I was so angry because I saw my son get fouled, and he fell to the ground, and he was in pain. And I was freaking yelling and screaming at the ref, at the kid. Just not one of my proudest moments. But I'm not gonna beat myself up over these things anymore. I'm gonna take it and learn from it. And the biggest thing I realized was that, number one, I have a lot of fear. I have a lot of fear that my kid's gonna get injured. I have fear that he won't be able to play again. I have fear that he won't be able to play soccer at the highest possible level. But at the same time, I recognize that's not masculine behavior. And I obviously want to be masculine and authentic, but I need to process all that repressed emotion, repressed fear, whatever it is. I need to process all that stuff, in order to fully be in my masculine, and to be the man that I want to be, the best man I can be. And so the point of this is again, like the message I'm always putting out is, bro, it's okay. You're gonna mess up, because my immediate reaction is, oh shit, what are people gonna think? But because of everything I've been going through, all the work I've been doing, that didn't last, man. It just came and went. Maybe I'm making the wrong choices, or maybe I'm not doing a good job raising him and guiding him on how to take care of himself. So imagine all these emotions are running through in one instant, and because I spent so much of my life repressing and not talking about stuff, and trying to present this image, it's now starting to come out. It's coming out in anger and in different ways. It manifests in different ways. So in a way, it's good that I reacted that way, because I'm finally letting stuff out, and thank God, because that's how I learn. So imagine being in that situation and then being grateful. That's major progress for me, major spiritual progress. But it also, the other point I was trying to make is that how often our own fears, our own experiences affect how we react with our children. And it's interesting because I used to sit in games and I used to judge other dads that would scream and go nuts and screaming at the ref, and yet there I was, that dad that was screaming at the ref, screaming at the other kid, terrified for my little boy, and it just instantly put things in perspective. The cool thing about doing these videos, it's like a video journal, because I don't like writing. I don't like reading much, so I do audiobooks, and I just sidetrack. But anyways, doing these videos actually helps me process, because now I just realized, after talking about all this, that a lot of that outburst also comes from me regretting not taking my soccer career to the next level because I was so freaking scared. I was terrified of failure. I was terrified of even trying. And because of that, you know, I want my kid to be the best he can be and not go through what I went through. But I got to be careful with how I express that. There's a difference between telling him, hey, this is what I went through. You know, at the end of the day, I would love for you to be successful and do the things that I wasn't able to, but, you know, it's important for you to make your own decisions. You know, it's his life. And that's the healthy way, you know. But you live and you learn, right? So, conclusion, our fears, our experiences affect the way we react to our children and the things in their life. And sometimes we want to live vicariously through our kids because of the regrets that we have. And I know the way that I see it now is that I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. I want my kids to have their own personality, to be their own selves, make their own decisions, and not do things because I'm pushing them to a certain extent. You know, I do want to push them to be the best they can be, but if I am not acting in a masculine, authentic manner, then I'm not being a good example for them. So, you know, and I don't know where that line is, but I do know that point is clear. But life happens, man, and we get buried. We get buried in this shit. These expectations, these experiences, the fear, the insecurity, the anger. And that's why I always say that we're not broken, or, you know, we're not defective. We're just buried, man. We're buried in all these things. And we just need to dig ourselves out. Because once we start coming out of all that, the expectations, trauma, experiences, mental illness, but bro, all the shit that we label ourselves with, which is basically identity. Once we start digging ourselves out of that, man, it's like a whole new life. It's a whole new experience. Because you realize you are not your thoughts. You are not what you've been telling yourself you are for so many years. You're a human being. You're a child of God. That's it, bro. I don't want to label myself with anything else anymore. And I don't want to label my kids either. Just know you're not alone. And if you're struggling with the nice guy tendencies, if you have even the slightest inclination towards nice guy behavior, bro, take the nice guy assessment on the website. Go to souldadrob.com and take the nice guy assessment. It will change your life. And once you've done that, go to the resources page and buy No More Mr. Nice Guy. This is one of the greatest books I've ever read in my life. It changed my life. Okay?